Let's begin with homework exercise number 23. Complete the table of the ordered pairs for the given linear equation. All right, for my equation, I have x plus 4y equals 8. Notice in this first one, the value x is equal to 0. So wherever there's an x, we're going to put in 0. So x plus 4y equals 8. Copy down your equation. Substitute in this value for x. X is 0. 0 plus 4y equals 8. 0 plus 4y is just 4y equals 8. To solve for y, to make the coefficient 1, divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times y is y. So y is equal to 8 divided by 4, which we know is 2. So when we have an x value of 0 into the equation, put the value of 0, we solve for y, and we get y equals 2. Okay, now in this one, we got 0 is for the y value, right? 0 is given for y. So x plus 4y equals 8. 0 for y. X plus 4 times 0 equals 8. 4 times 0 is 0. X plus 0 is simply x equals 8. So we already got x, 1x, or x, which represents the answer. That's what we need to find. So we have x equals 8. So we substituted in y as 0 and got the value x equals 8. And now when y is 4, right, the y value is given to be 4. So I use my equation x plus 4, and y is also 4, equals 8. So x plus 4 times 4 is 16, right? Means multiplication. To solve for x, we would subtract 16 to make that 0. X plus 0 is x, so we solve for x. 8 minus 16, 8 plus a negative 16, subtract the 2. The larger absolute value is negative, so we get a negative 8. Or you can do it on your calculator. 8 minus 16 will give us negative 8, okay? So again, on the calculator, 8 subtract 16, and you get your negative 8. All right, very good. All right, number 24. Okay, let's look at 24. Negative y equals 7x minus 10. The x value here is negative 7, right? So you're going to use your equation. Y equals a positive 7x minus 10. The x value is negative 7. So y is 7. Keep on putting a negative first. I don't know why. 7 times negative 7 minus 10. So 7 times negative 7 is a negative 49. Negative 49 minus 10. Two negatives plus a negative 10, add them together, and your answer is a negative. So it would be a negative 59. Again, you can do that on your calculator. So when the x value is negative 7, the y value is a negative 59. Again, on the calculator, you could do 7, the x value, negative 7 in parentheses to indicate multiplication, minus 10, and we get our negative 59. Okay? Now, y is a negative 3, correct? So be careful now. Y equals 7x minus 10. The y is a negative 3. So negative 3 equals 7x minus 10. Okay, so we got to solve for x. We want to get rid of the minus 10, so we're going to add 10 to both sides. Negative 3 and a positive 10 is 10 minus 3 is a positive 7. These negative 10 plus 10 cancels out, so what remains on the right side is 7x. 7 equals 7x. Divide both sides by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1 here, but with the x, so x equals 1. All right, we just happen to get 7s on both sides. So our answer is x equals 1. So when we substituted in y as a negative 3, we got x equals 1. And finally, when x is 7, so we get what? Y equals 7, x minus 10. X is 7 now. So y equals 7 times 7 minus 10. 7 times 7 is 49 minus 10 is equal to 39, right? 49 minus 10 is 39. So again, we substituted in x is 7, and we got our y value by our algebra steps or our arithmetic. You get 39. All right, let's look at problem number 25. Okay, again, similar to the previous we've been doing, use your formula. In this case, my formula is y is 1/8 times x plus 4. And in the first case, x is 0, right? So y equals 1/8, x is 0. Now what? Any number times 0 is 0, right? So 1/8 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. So again, we've got y equals 4. Not much work to do because any number times 0 is 0, and then the plus 4. So we get a positive 4, okay? All right, now, what happens when x is a negative 16, right? The next one, x is a negative 16, so we use y equals 1/8, right, times x, which is a negative 16, plus 4, right? Now again, the 16 is over 1, so you could simply, these reduce, right? You could do it on your calculator. Negative 16 divided by 8 is simply a negative 2, right? Or 8 goes into both. Then you get negative 16 over 8, which is just a negative 2. So negative 2 plus a positive 4. Again, one's negative, one's positive, add them together, and you would get a positive 2, right? Because the larger absolute value is the positive number. So when x is a negative 16, we solved for y, and we got y equals 2. Again, on the calculator, you could do alpha f1, you could put in a fraction, right, if you want. 1/8, and then what? Get out of the fraction with the right arrow, and then multiply. You can just use parentheses. X is a negative 16. Put it in parentheses, and then we're adding 4 for the remainder of the equation, and there's our answer, y equals 2. Okay? And then finally, we have y is 0 now, right? So we put in 0 for y. It's equal to 1/8 x plus 4. Now, we got to solve for x. We would subtract 4 from both sides, right, to get rid of that minus 4. 0 minus 4 on the left side is a negative 4. Negative 4 is equal to 1/8 times x. These cancel to give us 0. Now, be careful here. The 1/8, 8 is in the denominator, so you're really dividing. So to get rid of division, you're going to multiply by 8 over 1. So if you do it to the right side, you do it to the left side. Because 8 over 8 cancels, and you get 1 in the numerator, 1 times 1 over 1 times 1 in the denominator, which is just x. Here it's a multiplication, right? They're both in the numerators. 8 times a negative 4 is a negative 32, okay? So be careful here. It's a little bit tricky. You put in 0 for y. You subtract 4 here to get rid of this 4, but then the 1/8 x is really 1/8. It's in the denominator, so we had to multiply both sides by 8 to undo the 1/8 to get x, and then 8 times negative 4 is a negative 32, okay? Let's put that in to make sure we're correct. And that is indeed the correct answer. Okay, and now plot the ordered pairs. Okay, so now again, you plot the ordered pairs. Remember, you have an x and a y coordinate, right? X and a y axis. So we have what? The first point is 0, 4, right? When x is 0, y is 4, right? So we go over 0 and up 4, which would be about right there. Then negative 16. So we go way over to a negative 16, and we go up 2, so it would be about right there. And then a negative 32, 0 would be all the way this way, and negative 32 would be somewhere in there, right? So again, we have, what do we have? We have a negative 32, 0, 16, and then 16 would be about right there, and that would be what? A positive 2, a negative 16, and then 0, 4 would be what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 increments of 2, so that corresponds to 0, 4. So it looks like this would be the right answer, right? This would be approximately negative 32, 0, right? That point. This would be about negative 16 up 2, and this would be about over 0 up 4. So, so B is definitely the plotting of those 3 points. All right, and there's our correct answer. All right, very good. We're going to stop this session here. If you have any questions, send me an email at tsquares@hodges.edu or call me at 239-938-7805. Thank you.